There comes a time in life, often after 70, when something inside you quietly shifts, not with bitterness but with clarity. You start to feel that the world's obsession with friendships, social gatherings, and staying constantly connected doesn't speak to your soul anymore. You realize you're not lonely, you're just tired of the noise. After decades of living, loving, working, raising children, and giving pieces of yourself to everyone around you, your heart longs for peace, not more people. This realization doesn't come with a dramatic announcement or a sudden act of isolation. It comes with gentle wisdom, like a soft rain washing over your spirit, whispering that it's finally okay to choose yourself. In youth, we chase friendship like it's the air we breathe, fearing that without it, we'll somehow disappear into irrelevance. But once you cross the threshold into your 70s and beyond, you discover a different kind of oxygen, the kind found in quiet mornings, solo walks, old books, and deep breaths taken alone. You start to understand that true happiness is not about the number of friends who call you, but about the number of peaceful moments you have to yourself. You no longer need to impress anyone, explain your silence, or justify your distance. Your time becomes sacred. You choose who, what, and how you give your energy. And often the answer becomes simple: you give it to yourself. You begin to notice the subtle drain that some friendships bring, the ones that revolve around gossip, comparison, or shallow memories. You feel how exhausting it is to keep up appearances, to respond to texts you don't care about, or to go out to lunches that leave you feeling more empty than full. So you stop. Not abruptly, not coldly, but intentionally. You don't ghost people, you just gradually return home, to your own spirit, your own mind, your own rhythm. And in that space, something beautiful happens. You rediscover forgotten parts of yourself. You remember you used to love writing poetry. You realize how good jazz sounds when no one is talking over it. You pick up a paintbrush not because anyone's watching but because it feels good in your hand. You learn that solitude isn't isolation, it's an invitation to become whole. It's in this season of life that you finally understand how much of your energy was spent managing other people's emotions, expectations, and opinions. And now you feel light. Not lonely, light. You find joy in a routine that only you design. You wake when you want. You eat when you're hungry. You wear what makes you feel good, not what looks appropriate for your age. You dance alone in the living room. You talk to your plants. You laugh at your own jokes. You become your own best company, and strangely, it feels more nourishing than any group chat or tea party ever did. You don't hate people. You just love yourself enough to no longer abandon your peace for the sake of social obligation. Society rarely tells seniors this truth. It glorifies constant connection and portrays solitude as something to be feared. But what if solitude is actually the reward? What if after 70, nature grants you the gift of self-intimacy, something most people never truly experience because they're too busy trying to be liked? You, however, have nothing left to prove. You've lived. You've loved. You've failed and risen. You've seen joy and heartbreak. And now, finally, you can rest, in your thoughts, your pace, your space. You don't need validation. You don't need social proof. You need quiet. You need meaning. And surprisingly, you find those things within, not in anyone's opinion of you but in your own breath, in your own eyes, in your own heartbeat. As days pass, you find more strength and independence. You walk to the market alone and smile at strangers without needing to make small talk. You sit in a cafe with your favorite book and notice how rare it is to truly enjoy one's own company. You no longer chase connections, you attract presence. Sometimes, someone kind joins you in your quiet world, and that's lovely. But if not, that's lovely too. You realize that presence doesn't require people, it requires peace. And peace is something you've earned. Of course, there are days when memories of old friends tug at your heart. There are days when silence echoes a little too loudly. That's part of the human experience. But even then, you understand that grief, nostalgia, and longing are just signs of a life fully lived. You feel the ache and let it pass, like a wave that rises and falls. You don't rush to fill the void with new people. You honor it with patience and gratitude. You remember the laughter of your youth, the chaos of middle age, and now, you embrace the grace of being older and alone but never lonely. Because you're connected, to yourself, to your past, and most importantly, to the present moment. You find beauty in the ordinary, the sound of birds in the morning, the smell of coffee, the softness of your favorite blanket, the way your plants lean toward the sun. You live slowly, fully. You no longer multitask, you single task with intention. Everything becomes sacred. Folding laundry, watering the garden, making your bed. These are no longer chores, they are rituals. And in these rituals you find joy. Not the explosive kind of joy that needs to be photographed and shared, but the quiet, steady kind that seeps into your bones and makes you smile just because you're alive. You don't envy those with crowded calendars, you feel grateful for your empty afternoons. They are your canvas. You can nap, create, think, or do absolutely nothing. And that nothing feels like everything. If someone comes into your life now, it's a bonus, not a necessity. If an old friend reaches out with genuine warmth, you welcome it. But you no longer cling. You no longer perform. You don't chase anyone. Not because you're arrogant, but because you've made peace with who you are when no one is looking. You've stopped looking outward for purpose because you've found it inside. Aging in this way becomes a blessing. Not a decline, but a rise. A return. A gentle unfolding into your truest self. The self that doesn't worry about fitting in or being remembered, the self that simply is. And in that being, you find a joy that friendship alone could never give you. It's the joy of self-trust, self-respect, and self-love. It's the joy of no longer needing permission to live life your way. This isn't about rejecting connection forever. It's about becoming selective. It's about realizing that after a certain age, your time is your wealth, and your peace is your currency. You spend both wisely. You don't entertain gossip. You don't engage in arguments. You don't prove your worth. You just live, with presence, purpose, and deep appreciation for each breath. And if someone says you've become too quiet, too distant, too solitary, you smile. Because you know they haven't yet discovered the freedom that comes with growing older and freer. Let them run their race. You found your pace. And in your own quiet way, you're winning. Not the kind of victory that earns applause, but the kind that brings peace to your pillow at night. So to anyone watching this, wondering if it's okay to walk alone after 70, know this: you're not alone. You're with yourself. And that is the most beautiful company you'll ever keep. Don't be afraid of solitude. Embrace it. Nurture it. Celebrate it.